For this one, I'm going to show you all how to 3D track a 3D object in a 2D scene and make it look like it's actually there and part of the video. So with that being said, let's jump straight in. Now, once you've got yourself in After Effects, we want to create a new composition and we just want to set this to 1080p. You want to match the frame rate to your video and also match the duration of the project as well. And from here, we can drag and drop the video into the timeline and import it into After Effects. For the 3D object, this is really simple. There's a website called Sketchfab, and I would highly recommend it for free and paid 3D objects or models that you can import into After Effects. So it's completely up to you whatever website you use, but this one is really simple and easy to use. So let's say, for example, we wanted to get ourselves a 3D helicopter. We can type in helicopter or heli, and then we can tick the two most important options, which are the downloadable. This will allow us to actually download it, and also the animation, because for this video I'll be showing you how to also add animation to your 3D object. Another important setting that I would highly recommend is the licenses. I would untick all of these options, and the reason for this is because this doesn't allow you to have commercial use. So once you've done that, you can have a look through all of the different options, and some of these are okay, some of them are very basic. I mean, this is free, so we can't have too high expectations. But the one that caught my attention is this one right here, which is really cool. It looks like something off of Halo 3. And the original creator is VerticDesigns. So full credit goes to this person right here for creating it. Go and show him some love and support. But once you've found the one that you're happy with and you want to download it, you just want to simply go down to the download button right here and click download 3D model. This will give you a bunch of options which you can choose, and the most important two are the original format, the GLB, and the GITF converted format. So basically all you need to know about this is this one includes everything from the model, the textures, and the animation, and this one only includes the model and the textures. But if you do want the animation, then you'd want to download the original format. So once you've got it downloaded, we can now start to work in After Effects and actually start to create the 3D tracking points. In order to do this, we can apply an effect called 3D Camera Tracker. Some of you may have heard of this before. You just apply it onto your video. It will take a bit of time for it to analyze the background, and this will start to plot down all of the tracking points in your video. And there we go. It's now finishing up and analyzing has finished. You can have a look by selecting your effect, and as you can see, these are all of our tracking points in the video. Now when it comes to the tracking points, if yours are really small and hard to see, it's most likely because you have a 4K video. If you do have really small tracking points, you can increase the size by changing the track point size right here. So if you increase this, this will allow you to make them nice and visible and just easier to see and work with. But after that, you just want to have a look at your video and make sure you know exactly where you want the object to be. So in this case for me, I want it to hover around here, and my best options are these three tracking points. You can left click, and then you can right click, and you want to select the one that will say create solid and camera. This will just give you a plane that you can work with. We can rotate this. We can also expand the plane by dragging the X, and then also the Y as well. Now the reason for this is because we can use this later on as a reference for when we do the lighting. Right up to here, and there we go, we can work with this. We can have a look at a quick preview, and you can see this is nicely tracked onto this area. So now that we've got ourselves the plane, we can import the 3D object. If you go to your project, you can open up your 3D object by dragging and dropping it into the project in After Effects and then dragging it down into the timeline. Now this will sometimes give you this error if you have a different mode selected for the 3D renderer, and that's completely fine. You just want to press OK. The quickest way to fix the scale is to make comp size. This will automatically fit it onto your canvas, and then we could just press OK. We don't really need to change the name. We could just leave it as default. So there we go. We now have our 3D object in After Effects. In order to be able to track this onto the plane, we can link it up by going down to the parent and link right here. If you left click, you can hold Shift and then left click on the track solid 1. What this will do is this will link it up with the tracking plane, and it will copy the position and everything else. Sometimes it may compress or flatten your 3D object like mine, and that's completely fine because this basically happens because of the different perspective. But we can fix that. That is completely fine. So if you unlink it from the parent, which will stop it from automatically applying the same changes to both of them at the same time, we can now edit this and just reposition. We can compress this down, also increase the Z, compress the X down, fix up the Y as well. If your 3D object is too small after the correction, you can also press S for scale and then increase the scale in here. If we have a look at this now, it is still a little bit too flat looking. We can correct this, and there we go. It should look something like this. So then once you're happy with all of your adjustments, we can now hide the track solid 1. And if we have a look at a quick preview, you can see this will nicely stay fixed on that area. However, at the moment it's looking way too still and plain and boring, so let's fix this up by opening up the 3D object. And the coolest part about this is if you scroll down to the animation options, you can open this up and this will give you a drop down menu which will give you the overall animation. If you have a different 3D object, let's say that you have a walking person or you have a different type of object, you can have multiple different animations listed down here. So for us, we only have a single animation, which is this one. And if we have a look at this now, you can see the animation is playing and it just gives that 3D object some life. So that's not looking too bad. We can also animate this and make it look like it's actually there by giving it a little hover up and down. To animate this, we can just select the 3D object. You can press P for the position. And then if you get yourself a keyframe, you can go further out, drag this a little bit further down, and then repeat the same step. So back up again, go further out, and then make it go back down. We can also left click and drag and select all of the keyframes and press F9 to ease the keyframes. You can see it will nicely hover down and then back up, and it looks nice and smooth. We can now apply some other adjustments to make it blend with the background. We can correct the lighting, and the lighting is actually really simple to do because we can just bring back the tracking plane, which we created earlier. If you select the 3D object, we can go up to Layer, New, and then get yourself a light. Make sure that the type is set to environment, unless you're specifically looking to have a spotlight where you want to control where the lighting will be. You want to make sure that you have the cast shadows enabled. This one is very important. And then go ahead and press OK. So straight away, this will now apply the changes onto the overall 3D object. If we turn this off, you can already see the shadows have been applied onto here. If you're wondering why they're looking a little bit grainy or low quality, this is because in the options right here for the 3D viewer, you want to switch it over to the advanced 3D because this will give you a lot more options and it will be better for the overall preview. You can also change the render options at the bottom right here. You can have the option to change the overall quality of the shadows. So by default, this was set to 8. I've just slightly bumped it up to 10. And this is also helpful if you don't see your shadows being displayed onto the overall tracking plane. We can fix this by clicking Fit to Scene, and this will fix it up by applying the shadows correctly. We can then go ahead and press OK. We do also need to correct the lighting. If you open up the environment, we can open up the transform, and you will have the X and Y. So depending on where your light is, the best thing to do is to hide your tracking plane. Have a look at any 3D or any object that is already in the video. So for me, I have this person as a reference. You can already see by the lighting, it is high in the sky, somewhere around 12 to 1 o'clock. It isn't very harsh because there's a lot of clouds. We can correct this by just changing the lighting. Let's put it right above the helicopter. So right up to here. We can also change the Y as well to around, let's say here. At the moment, it's looking a little too harsh. We can fix this by changing the intensity in here, whether it's darker or lighter. You can also change the shadow darkness. So if we want this to only be around, let's say 70%, we can just correct this in here. And if you open up your tracking plane back up again, you can see the shadow is now being displayed on the ground as well, because we changed the lighting so it's hitting the object from directly at the top. However, we don't really need the green screen, so in order to only focus on the shadow, we can open up the track plane, go down to material options. You want to set it to only, which will only display the shadow. The shadow is looking great, however, it's looking way too harsh for this scene. You can also fix this by transform, and then in the opacity, you just want to lower the opacity down to, let's say, something like 60 or 50%. You can continue adjusting the lighting and matching it to your scene. And if you wanted to, you can also make this look even better by adding in some orientation changes. If you get yourself the stopwatch, you can go further out, and on the 3D object, you can just tilt the Y, and this will make it look like it's rotating as well. Same again, we can just rotate it back. And this just gives the helicopter some life. There we go. That is looking really good. I'm still not happy with the shadow, so I'm just going to, once again, darken this even more or make it less visible. So let's say around 50%, and also change the overall opacity down to 40. It still looks a little bit too bright with the intensity, so let's lower this down to 90%. And there we go, that's looking better. In order to create the color grading or to color grade the 3D object, you cannot simply apply it onto the 3D object itself. It will not allow you to. So what we need to do is we need to hold Shift, left click on the top one, make sure you are selecting all of them together, and then right click and go to pre-composition. We can call this color grade. You want to move all attributes and then press OK. From here, we can start to apply some effects. We can get ourselves a lumimetric color, apply this onto the color grade. And in here, we can start to apply some other changes. We can desaturate just to match the scene. We can also apply a little bit of a temperature change of, let's say, 25. Looks decent. We can change the exposure. So if we want to darken it a little bit, the contrast, the highlights, the shadows, the white colors, and the black colors as well. So at the moment, it's looking a little bit too dull. Let's say something like this. We can also get creative with this, and if we open up the curves, you can select the red channel and just slightly bump this up a little bit as well, just to blend it more with the background. We can also apply some other effects, such as a grain. This one is optional, but for me, I feel like it makes sense simply because the original video has quite a bit of pixelation compared to the 3D object. So this will blend it a little bit better by applying a little bit of a grain onto the overall 3D object. I would set this one to 0.5 for the intensity, and already you can see the before and after. It makes it blend a little bit better with the background. Another effect that I applied, or I think it makes sense for this, is a tint. If you drag and drop your tint onto your 3D object, we can select the map black, and you want to select the darkest point on your video, and then also select the brightest point as well. We can also lower the tint amount to, let's say, 33. 33 looks good. Without the effects, with the effects. At a quick preview, this is looking great. I'm really happy with this. And then finally, the last step is to correct any little problems that are left over. So as you can see, by the helicopter, it's looking way too flat compared to the original. In this case, we can open up the color grade where the 3D object is and just expand the Z just to fix up this problem right here. In the original one, the nose is a lot pointier compared to before. So as you can see, this is already looking better. Another thing that we can do to make this look even better is to add in the sand blowing effect, which would be caused by the helicopter blowing the sand down and then back up again. And to do this, it's really simple. The hardest part is to find a really good overlay that you can use. So in order to 3D track this, we need to do it on a separate tracking. And to do this, go back onto your main video, go into the effects, select the 3D camera tracker, and we're just going to create a new tracking point. We can right click, create solid and camera. And this time we're just going to reposition this. You want to expand the X and then also expand the Y as well. And you also want to have the perspective looking directly at the camera. From here, you can right click, go down to pre-composition. We can call this one sand. You want to leave all attributes here and then press OK. And the reason for this is because we can now open this up, and then with the track solid, we can hide this layer and drag and drop the video that we want to use. So in this case, it is this one. And we just need to also rescale this by pressing S, drag this down, let's say to around 30. You also want to have a look at your video on which specific part of the video you want it to display. So I'm going to start it right here. We can remove the black background by getting ourselves a color key. Just simply drag and drop this onto your video. By using the color picker, you can select the black background and just increase the tolerance a little bit, smoothen this out with the edge and then also the feather as well. Let's say all the way up to around 40 and then maybe 36 for the tolerance. Now, the greatest thing about this is that we can go back onto Comp 1, and by selecting the helicopter layer, we can actually copy the exact same color grade that we applied on the helicopter onto the sand. If you just press Ctrl or Command and C, once you've selected them all, you can then go onto sand, and then you want to paste it into here. It will now have the correct color grade. However, we do also need to press T for the opacity and just lower this down to, let's say, 60%, just to give it more transparency. If we go back onto Comp 1, you can see this is looking better than before. We may need to bump up the color tolerance a little bit more. So let's say 70 or 85. There we go, that's looking better. From here, we can just reposition the location. So we want it underneath the helicopter, right up to here. If we quickly look at this, we may need to drag it down a little bit. And then we can also use the rectangular shape tool just to get ourselves a mask on this layer and just soften the edges so it blends with the background. You want to slightly cut it off on the edges, open up the mask, and then increase the feather. This will blend with the background. So you can see it's nicely tracked. It will be right underneath the helicopter as the camera moves. And then it will end right here. And for the sand layer, we can mute it since we don't need the audio. You want to make sure it's above all of your layers, especially above your 3D object. So then this will make it blend with the background and the sand will be on top rather than underneath. And that is pretty much it. That is how you 3D track any 3D object in Adobe After Effects.